Hello and welcome to another video from Miles Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are looking at something that is incredibly old, is incredibly rare, very hard to find, and very, very collectible. We are looking at the 1950s release by the Eagle comic from their Dan Dare series of merchandise. And this particular item we are looking at today is of the Dan Dare pocket watch, as was produced by Ingersoll back in the 1950s. Now, Dan Dare was a comic strip character who appeared in the Eagle comic. Now, he started in the very, very first issue of the Eagle comic, and he ran for the 17 years, right up until 1967, as Dan Dare Pilot of the Future, which was probably their most famous comic strip in the Eagle. And then subsequently there was reprints done. There was also a weekly 7-day-a-week radio show on Radio Luxembourg, which ran from 1951 to 1956. Dan Dare did make a brief comeback in the 2000 AD comics in 1977, and it ran until 1979. And he also appeared back in the relaunched Eagle comic in 1982, right up until its demise in 1994. And I believe there was a new Dan Dare comic strip that appeared in 2017. I think it was in the Titan comics, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyway, back to the point. This particular watch we're looking at today, it was commissioned by Eagle Comics, and they commissioned quite a large quantity of the Ingersoll watches. Now, they weren't very happy with the first batch of watches, but they had been produced, so they had to take them. So they took the first batch of watches, which had, where on the top of this watch you can see just below number 12 you've got Dan Dare. Well, it had Ingersoll in big black letters, and very small writing. It had Dan Dare underneath it. Well, the Eagle comic took offence to this, because the name Dan Dare should have been far more prominent than the Ingersoll name. Ingersoll being the manufacturer, of course, but Dan Dare being the franchise that it was marketing. So the Eagle comic decided to recommission a second batch, but it was a much smaller quantity, and this time it was without the Ingersoll name, and it was with Dan Dare in big black letters, pretty much the size of what the Ingersoll letters were in the original, or in the first wave of watch. Now, because the watches were in such a smaller quantities, the second commission, these watches are the hardest ones to find of them all. There's plenty of the ones with the Ingersoll on the face that turn up, but the ones without the Ingersoll, those are difficult ones to find. And this particular one we're looking at today is one of those hard to find second commission watches. Okay, so this is the watch in front of us, and as you can see, it's got the image of Dan Dare in his spacesuit, standing on an alien planet. And you can see his left arm is ticking backwards and forwards, just like a second hand. And if you look at the compass, you can see his ship rotating around the clock face there, which is also the second hand. So you've got two second hands there really ticking away on that face. It is a really nice little watch. Let's I'm just going to pick it up, and I'm going to bring it closer to the camera. Okay, so I've zoomed out a little bit. Just wanted to bring it closer to the camera so you can get a very good look at the watch itself, and you can see the size of it. I'm just going to put a measuring stick over it so you can actually see the size of this watch. So if you measure from the bottom of the watch to the top of the winder, you're looking at 6 centimeters. But if we measure the diameter of the watch, you're looking at 5 centimeters. So you get an extra centimeter, which is the winder and the handle there. So it is a chrome plated watch. On the back of the watch, you can see you've got the Eagle logo, and it says Eagle on the bottom there. I have seen some of these watches with it all rubbed out because it's engraved on there. It's not printed, and where the watch has been in and out of people's pockets, it has rubbed off the eagle mark. But this one is still on there, so it's still in very good condition, as is the the watch face, as is with all the hands working. This is an original hand, it's not a replacement one. I have seen quite a lot of these watches with replacement arms, and you can tell because they're quite a bit shorter than the original ones, and of course with the rotating spaceship rocket, Dander's rocket ship there as well. So yeah, quite a nice size and a lovely thing. I mean, it is a wind-up watch, so you just turn the dial towards the well, it's clockwise to wind it up, and to change the time you literally just push it down and you turn the handles either way to change the time. So let's set it for 4 o'clock. There we go. So there we go. It's very easy and simple to use. Now it does have a little attachment on the end there for you to hook on the chain, and the chain is here as well. So the chain's got like a little clasp there that you push in, and then it hangs on the chain. And then you've also got the buttonhole to attach to your waistcoat or your pocket, your buttonhole in your pocket. So that's how that attaches to the shirt or the waistcoat. It really is a delightful piece. This is very rare, as I say, because it is the second version that doesn't have the Ingersoll wrote on it, and these were produced in much smaller quantities, and albeit because of the stubbornness of the Eagle, where they did not want to have Ingersoll more prominent on their watch than Dander. So that was the whole reason behind this second wave being commissioned. So that is the watch. As I say, it's lovely, but you can see that it's in working condition. So the time is ticking away. You can see the hands moved already for the 1 minute or 2 minutes we've been talking, and the hands are all moving, the arms moving, and the rocket ship is rotating. So that is the watch. So how well did these watches do back in the day? Well, bear in mind that this is the second wave. So I mean, the first wave that they did, oops, I'm trying to keep this at an angle so that you can see it nicely without it just laying flat. So I'm just trying to sit it up in the back of the box there so that it's easier to see. And there we go. And if we zoom in a little bit, we'll have a nice view of that ticking while I'm talking. So yeah, the first wave, even though the quantities were higher and the Eagle wasn't happy with them, they still marketed them, and they still went out and sold them. I think they were sold through the comic, so you would send off with your money, and you would get the watch sent back in the post. I could be wrong on that, but I vaguely remember that was what happened. And the same with the second batch. So the second batch, as I say, it's a much nicer watch without that Ingersoll marking all over it. So I do understand where the Eagle were coming from. Dander is the prominent name here, not the manufacturer. The manufacturer's name should be in very small letters, but the agreement was, because it was wrong on the first batch, the agreement was on the second batch the Ingersoll was removed altogether. So there we are. So Dander to himself, and he's not interrupted with the Ingersoll sign. So there we are. So yes, they sold remarkably well. All of the quantities that were commissioned went out and were sold. Obviously, this second batch was a much smaller quantity. So these particular watches without the Ingersoll marking are incredibly hard to find now. Very rare, very difficult to find, especially in this complete, fully working condition as this particular watch is. So let's move forward now. What are we going for? We're going 71 years, because this was released in 1953. So 71 years forward to today, which is 2024. Well, in fact, we're almost at 2025. We're only a month away from 2025. So, do these watches appear on the platforms? Yes, they do. But most of the watches you see on the platforms are the one that's got the Ingersoll mark into them. You see quite an abundance of those. You do occasionally see these ones on the platform, but usually you'll find them damaged or not working, or most of the ones you see without the chains, although the chains are easily replaceable. But they certainly have bits missing. I saw a couple of these particular ones on the platforms when I was looking to see how often they popped up. However, the ones that I saw on the platforms were both missing the arms on down there, the ticking arm, and one of the two of them didn't have the spaceship working, as it didn't rotate, so it was just literally the clock face not working very well. But there we are. As you can see, this one is working. I don't know how well it keeps the time because I haven't checked that, but yeah, for a watch that's 70 years old, you would expect it to have some kind of defaults, although I can't see any on this particular watch. The glass is all intact, the casing is very nice, the winder works, and the time adjuster works, and the chain is wonderful. So there we are. So this particular version doesn't come up very often on the platform. When it does, they're usually damaged or not working properly. However, we at Midas Touch have managed to find this particular watch. Now, we only have the one of these, which is hardly surprising because of how rare it is, but we have managed to find this one watch, and it is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Dandere items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on the website. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching. You should never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this amazing, wonderful, old, very, very rare Dandere pocket watch with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video. So bye for now.